Okay, hi everyone. I wanted to make a quick video on how to create something like this using Google Charts, and you can put this on your webpage. So showing you how to do all of that. So to start off with, I just want to point out that Google Charts has a whole bunch of already predefined charts that you can look at. So if you go to uh, Chart Gallery, if you just Google Charts, you'll find a chart gallery. And you'll see here that GeoChart is one option, scatter plots, column charts, histograms, bar charts. And these are nice because they're interactive, pie charts, bubble charts, and so on. So they're all pretty cool. And what they do is they give you an example. Like if we go to the Google chart, the GeoChart, sorry, and I click on this page, you can see that it'll give you several different examples. And in this example, this is HTML code. This is the JavaScript part of the HTML code, but you can see that it starts off with the HTML tag and ends with an HTML tag. And so what this tells you is that you can just copy and paste that into any text editor. So I have Notepad open, and I can do a new file. I can just paste that in there, okay? And then hit save, file, save as, and I'll call this GeoChart. I have a couple GeoCharts already saved. I'll call this GeoChart 2. And I'm going to save it as an HTML file. And so this is the one important thing if you're using a text editor is it may try to save it as a text file. You want to make sure that it's saved as an HTML file. So if I hit save there, then okay, that's all I did. I just copied and pasted. I didn't change it at all. If I go to my File Explorer, I now have in that folder, I have a GeoChart 2 HTML. So you can see that Google opened it up and it automatically just created an HTML web page. It's interactive. You can hover over it and it shows you the values. And there's only a few countries listed here: Germany, France, Canada, US, Brazil. Okay, well, if I go back to my file, you can see that this is the data that we were actually visualizing here, right? So we have country and popularity, and then everything else is just a list of countries. So you got Germany, 200, United States, 300, Brazil, 400, Canada, 500. Obviously, this is just made up, right? If I wanted to make the map more full, I could always just go to Chat GPT and say, hey, can you just make up some more data? That's what literally I put in there. Hey, can you populate this data set with more countries and made up popularities? And of course, Chat was happy to do that. I said, sure, here you go. So to make this map more robust, all I'd have to do is copy that and go to Geo2 HTML, actually go to my text editor and paste that in right there and hit save. And now if I refresh this web page, oh, it didn't work. I'll go back. So that's going to happen sometimes. There's going to be an issue. What happened? Go to Notepad. I'm probably missing a comma or something. So if I go here, what did I do? Germany, 200. All that should be fine. I'm probably missing. Let me just hit Control Z. Yeah, okay. So I should have just pasted it right there. Now I hit save. And when I go to refresh GeoChart 2, it should come back. There we go. So now I have just, not every country in the world's in there, but it created a list and it's got made up data. And what you can do with that is you can go through and say, okay, well, maybe I want to actually make a chloropleth map where I have real data for each country. Maybe this isn't popularity, but it's population. We go look that data up, and all you have to do is edit this list in your text editor for the population. So then you have an interactive chart. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time because this is just an intro to data science. I'm not going to spend a ton of time walking you through everything, but you can read into GeoCharts and see how you can change the color schemes. I'll be happy to answer questions if you have them, but it's just not something I want to do for right off the bat. Here you can see you can make a chart where you put text in there. Doesn't look that great, but something you could do. And you can change the color scheme. This is for a binary color scheme. It's telling you basically you just need to take the variable options part and change the colors. You got a default color, a background color, and a data less region color. Oh, color axes. That's a color code. That's black. That's another color code. You can use the eyedropper feature on PowerPoint to figure out what these color codes are. Put them in line, say, okay, I want this color blue. What color is it? And it'll tell you what it is. Okay. So that's geocharts. Maybe you want to make a bar chart, right? Well, let's see here. It comes with some examples. There's a bar chart, and you can see here it says code it yourself on JavaScript Fiddle. That could give you the access to the data. And now what you're going to see is that this one has an HTML file and a JavaScript file, and then nothing in its CSS file. What you'd have to do here is combine that into one HTML file. And honestly, the easiest way to do that, you don't even have to know how to code. Just take it and go to chat and say, it's right in the way. Hey, can you make this one HTML file that I can embed on my website? Okay. All it's going to do is it's going to wrap the JavaScript and the HTML into one HTML file. So I take all this, hit Control C, Control V. I got to go back to the right tab and say, okay, hit enter. So it's just tell it, yeah, make it something that I can embed in my page. So there you can see I'm putting in the standalone HTML page with script tags. Okay, so this first line is just saying this is an HTML document. There's the header. It might do something slightly different than what was on the Google Sites, but it's close. Okay. If I just copy and paste this into a text file and save it as an HTML, it should create a new web page. So let's do that. Let's hit File, Save As. And this is going to be bar chart 2 or 3.html. I got to make sure that I click all files so it doesn't try to save it as a text file. Okay, hit save. And then now you can see bar chart 3 is now in that folder, and that didn't quite work. Oh, no, it did. Okay. Just took a second to populate. So there you can see now you have an interactive map with 2000 population and 2010 population. Okay, so that's, you can just save it as an HTML file, open the HTML file in your browser, and now you have an interactive chart. The other thing you can do is go to your sites, Google Sites, and let's say that you have a page, I don't know, maybe I should go to I had a page called bar chart example, where I essentially took the same chart. This was something that I created in Excel or PowerPoint, and then here's a chart like the one that I just showed you in Google Charts. So to create this or insert this, all I had to do was here, instead of inserting an image, I came here, down here a little bit, and I said embed, and this is an embed HTML code. So I can just take that same file, what I had saved as bar chart 3, hit Control A, Control C, and paste it in there, and hit next. And now you can see that I now have another, I can resize it if I like. I now have another bar chart there. Notice it did some things I don't like it centered the population and made that bigger and had that thing, but I can always delete those tags and just have just the bar chart and then use Google Sites or whatever to format the text the way I want to. So there's just a quick example of how you could insert a chart on your web page. You literally just have to take the code from Google Docs or Google Sites, Google Charts, edit it to match your data, and then paste it in onto your web page.